All right, guys, so I wanted to come on here really quick. 10 minutes this video will be, and I wanted to go over just getting to the next level. How can we get to the next level where we're currently at? So, one thing you have to think about is that if we continue to do the same thing over and over again, we're going to stay in the same place, right? So, that's the same environment, that's the same people we're talking to, that's the same thoughts that we have. And so, in order to get to a different place in our life, we have to start thinking differently. Now, I know it's kind of hard to do that when you're surrounded by an environment, you have certain family, friends, but you really have to take the time and think about, where do I want to go? Now, guys, I have to say that if you don't take the time to kind of reflect where you are right now, how do you know, right? And so the way that I like to think about it is, I don't like to repeat my year after, like, a year after year. I need to be in a different place every year. I need to be in a place of growth, right? So I don't ever want to be going backwards in my years. I always want to go forward. And sometimes that can be kind of difficult because we have situations that happen to us. We have situations that happen to our family and our work, and life gets really busy, and we're always feeling like, I can just never get to where I want to go. And for me personally, there are times where I have felt like that in the past, but I know that if I continue to do what I'm doing and I plan my days, my month, my years, like my goals, and I work on that every day, I am getting somewhere. And so I wanted to share what has worked for me. So, and now let's just go back to the mindset part, right? So right now, you have to think about where you are, right? I'm sure you want to be in a different place, right? Financially, health-wise, and relationship-wise. And we all know that in order to change that, we have to start making changes. And sometimes we're like, oh, well, next year, or oh, next month. But guys, this is what we have to do now. We have to make changes today. Today, you have so much power. And today, you can never get that time back, right? And so, forget about the past. Forget about the past that you've gone through. Forget about, the things that you decided to do that led you to where you are today. Today is a gift, guys, right? So let's plan for, right now, as I'm recording this, it's September. Let's plan for the end of the year and next year, right? And so you cannot go anywhere if you don't have an aim, right? So if you aim for nothing, that is exactly what you'll get, nothing. So you have to plan things out, okay? For me, I'm a big planner. I have to plan my days, I have to plan my weeks, my month, and I even have to plan, how's it gonna look? Like, what am I striving for? So when I plan things out, I feel a little bit in control, because life is you can't control things, but at least you feel more confident, right? That I have a plan for today, and I'm gonna finish that, right? So an example, guys, I always share with my viewers is, like, in the back of all of our minds right now, we have October planned out. We kind of know that we got to get ready for Halloween, right? Then we know what? November, and then we know it's December. And what do we all think about when December comes? We're like, oh man, I really have to make sure that I buy things ahead of time, because you don't want to buy things last minute. How stressful that is, right? But at least you kind of know, like, you have an idea what's going to happen, right? So besides the holidays, guys, right, that's going to happen year after year, right? But that's not going to get us to our goals. So the same way we have that in the back of our mind, we have to think about our personal development. What can I do now to get me in a state of growing my personal development and getting to the next level? And you have to think about, everybody's different. You have to think about, where do you want to go? Do you want to have better financial status? Do you want to have better health? Do you want to have better relationships, right? I think we all do. We all want that, right? And there's always something that we need to work on. So what we have to do, guys, is you have to plan it out. So I want you to get a piece of paper. Okay, this is what I like to do. When you feel a little bit overwhelmed about stuff, I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to write down, 3 different columns: health, right? Relationships, and wealth, right? Where are you? How do you want it to be, right? Write down what you want, right? And consider it a brain dump. Basically, you're just going to put all of your thoughts on those subjects, and you want to write down what's bothering you, and you want to write down how you want it to be, right? And so you have to think about, what can I do in my power that doesn't cost me any money, that I can work towards that, right? So for example, you want to do health wise, right? You want to start adding something healthy every day, right? It doesn't have to be a crazy schedule, but start adding things. That's the same thing with like your financial situation. Are you keeping track of your finances? Do you know how you're spending your money? If not, then that's something that we can add, right? That we can work towards. And the same thing with your relationships. How am I, what can I do to contribute more? Maybe I need to make more effort in cleaning. Maybe I need to make more effort in cooking the dinner. Like maybe I should, so we all kind of think about what we can improve on. And so these are the type of thoughts that if you don't think about, nothing's going to change. And so the power of just thinking about what you can do differently is key, because you're going to start to think about it. Because if you don't think about it, nothing's going to happen, right? So guys, I want you to take that into effect and see where you go with that. So guys, the same thing with that is planning your life in general. So I talk a lot about business on here, but it's also personal development. And I wanted to share 3 keys that has helped me so much, right? It might be more than 3, but 3 major ones. So for me, I really like to keep track of how my month is going, right? So if you're someone that, kind of feels like you're kind of like just all over the place with your thoughts, for me, I like to write it down. That's why I suggested that paper with those 3 important categories that I know that we all can reflect on: our health, our wealth, which is our financial situation, and our relationships. And I think those 3 things are like the biggest parts of our life, right? That we all want it to be better. So, but now as a personal development, how can we go forward to become the best version of ourselves, right? To make the best decisions, to put us in the best place, the best environment, so we can thrive and, have opportunities in front of us. So you have to figure out where do you want to go, right? First of all, think about, where do you want to go? What do you need to do to get there, right? And then for the month, right? You need to figure out in that month, what do you need to accomplish before the month ends? And I suggest that you write that down on top of your calendar. I'm looking at it right now. I have a desk calendar, right? And I'm going to link a desk calendar in the descriptions. So if you would like to take advantage of the desk calendar I have, go ahead and click on that. Definitely when I'm on my desk, like right now, and I'm on conversations, I'm in a business meeting, I have my family come in, they're talking to me about certain dates or on the phone call, I will write those down on those dates so that I don't forget. I have to write it down. Don't want to do sticky notes everywhere, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to carry with me a smaller calendar, which I put in my bag, right? Later on, I will input that in there. And then what I do to finalize everything, I put it in my Google Calendar. So if you're interested in that, guys, just put in the comments if you want to learn more about how I do that strategy. But I'm just going to go ahead and recap it for you guys. Is that in order to move in a different place in our life, we have to start thinking about things. We have to start planning things out. And if your mind is really busy, it's really best that you write down your thoughts, write down your plans, write down things that you want to improve on. Because out of sight, out of mind, guys, right? So start today, write down what you want to do, write down what your plan is for the week, write down what you want to accomplish before the month, and do that every month. And by the end of the year, you have accomplished so much. So I hope these strategies work for you. 2025 is approaching, and I'm so excited what is about to happen.